Come with me and you'll see how to draw from your imagination. I am so gonna coin that. I am so gonna coin that. It's a little parody song. How are you guys doing today? Hello, everybody. My name is Rodrigo Gonzalez, or as you guys might know me as RODGON. RODGON is my little screen name, my art name, and that means that I am an artist. I am an artiste. Artiste! And today, I am also going to be your teacher. I like teaching people because I find very often that people do not get the education they need from the sources that they normally have. They normally have access to things like YouTube and, a bunch of courses from people and stuff. But a lot of the times those courses repeat the same knowledge that everybody else does in just a slightly different way. Well, I don't like that. So what I like to do every day is I like to teach people how to use their foundational skills to be able to do the things that they need. Like build the human body, draw human heads, how to draw hats, how to draw volume on things like clothing and posing. And sometimes we go into little branches and we go into like fantasy stuff and weapons and we use perspective and all that stuff to be able to do all that stuff. So, hi Wes, how you doing? So today, we're going to learn how to draw the human body as blobbies. What is a blobby, Rod? We know the sushis. We know a sushi now because if anybody follows me, you guys know how to build the human body a little bit, right? That's what I focus on a lot. I teach how to draw bodies like sushis. I teach people how to draw bodies through anatomy. And today we're going to learn another one. We're going to learn the blobbies. Blobbies. And blobbies come from what I like to call a little circular. It's not necessarily a beanbag. In this case, it's going to be more like a square triangle, a rectangle with a little bit of a curve on the bottom. Okay, so more square on the top, a little bit more round on the bottom. That is the general shape that you're going to want to do. From there, we're going to split this into 3. 1, 2, 3. And those 3 are going to give us little quadrants. Those little quadrants allow us to draw things like circles as legs coming out of them. And those little quadrants give us the angle needed to be able to draw our arms coming out of the right place. So I'm going to teach you guys this concept of the blobbies because this is a concept that helped me out a lot. Learning the blobbies is very interesting. First, if you learn how to use the sushis, this is going to seem like a version of that. But this one's easier. This is way easier to learn, but I'll have to explain this one too because other people learn differently. Okay? Not everybody learns the same way. So if you take something like this and you essentially add a diamond inside, you're going to come up with a very easy to draw chibi body. Okay? So understanding the angles at which your body connects is important, and that's the point of this. It's not necessarily to get like a little stylized concept. No, it's to understand that the legs come out at an angle and then they fall down and they taper down. You can do it to a point, honestly. You can just do it to like a little cone. And that is essentially the concept of the leg. Learning that it connects at an angle and it tapers down to a point is essentially the basic concept of the leg. If you take that concept from any angle, you can draw legs relatively simple, regardless of the positioning, the angle, the size, you want to push them up, cool. You want to do little ballerina poses, awesome. Okay? It's all based on just coming from an angle, even if it's a profile, and then following down to a point. So understanding that angle is more important than understanding all the muscle fibers that go into the leg. So you don't need to know every single muscle structure. It's nice if you do, but you don't need to learn every single muscle and tendon to learn how to draw the leg properly. All you really need to know is that it connects to the body at an angle, and then even a straight line leg will look perfectly fine. But if you want to draw something a little bit more complex, your anatomy knowledge will allow you to do that. But it's the way that the body connects. It connects at an angle. So understanding that is half the battle of actually learning how to pose something. I will ask you guys to excuse me for a second. I need to blow my nose. All right. So, my friends, if you guys are seeing that you guys want to stay for the lesson today, I need you guys to get me to 10,000 likes. Get me to 10,000 likes and we will continue this lesson. Until then, I will draw chibi bodies and tease you guys with knowledge. So, a chibi body is literally a circle divided into 4. And each one of those has a little circle, and the little circle turns into a little mountain. When you learn how to draw a mountain from a circle, it's very easy, right? Well, now you need to do just 4 of those. And now you have a little chibi body. This one's a little crooked, so he might be tilting and catching his coffee or something. Little ballerina pose. Anyways. If you want to draw little chibi bodies on characters, all you have to do is draw your big heads, whatever type of head you draw. In this case, let's draw a little bear. And underneath him, draw a little circle that's overlapping. Divide that into 4. And use these quadrants to draw yourself your legs and feet. And now you have yourself a little chibi character, woohoo, that actually looks like it's doing something instead of just floating in space. Most of the reason that a lot of the bodies and the chibi characters don't correlate is because the bottom of the actual body doesn't really normally match up with how it connects to the body anatomy-wise. So when you're drawing little chibi characters, most of the time you don't know where to put the body. Well, it's actually quite easy. It comes at an angle. Ta-da. That is it. That's it. That's where the thing connects. The thing is, you have to still think about it like a skull, right? You gotta still think about this like if it was a skull, like anatomy-wise. So where would the spine be connected to the actual body? And that is essentially how I see it. Like wherever my spine would connect to my little body, that is where the body goes. Regardless of whatever type of animal, character, or whatever I choose, the spine is going to determine where my head goes. So my body is determining everything. My anatomy is. So even if it is that, dear Americans, thank you so much for helping Ukraine. You really are saving thousands of lives. We keep politics out of this. No politic talk, no religion talk, No nothing talk that is controversial. RODGON world, this little area in the world and the internet is free of all that shit. Okay? Nobody gets to bring it in. Nobody's gonna bring it out. And we're gonna keep this happy in a positive place. And we're not gonna be arguing and we're not gonna be doing stupid shit like that. Because Rod doesn't tolerate that shit in his classroom. I don't care if it's a positive thing or a negative thing. We just keep that shit out. Deal? How about that Usher concerts? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That guy can dance, dude. That guy can dance. Like Justin Timberlake, I saw a video of him in like a recent concert that just happened, and I was like, oh dear God, please stop. Please stop. But Usher still got it, man. He was doing like the little whole Tourette's like dance, like the little like tick tick tick, like tick tick tick. That was really cute. It looked like he had like Tourette's or something for a second. The tick tick tick. There's a hair on the paper and you're blowing your phone. Oh, that's funny. Anyways, okay, so blobbies. We never got to blobbies again. Okay, so blobbies take into consideration starting off with a little tiny rectangular circle thing. So you're combining a box and you're combining a circle. The top is going to be a box, the circle is going to be the bottom. Why do we do that? Well, because it's easy to just add a circle and come up with a collarbone. Ta-da! That's why, like, literally, like you keep this flat so that you can honestly just really quickly use a collarbone and create a rib cage with all that elements in there. The bottom becomes your hip bones. And your hip bones have angles. And those angles allow you to draw your legs coming out in any direction. So that is why I do that. It's just a simplification process that allows me to come up with body parts really quickly. And I get to put as much anatomy as I want to them, or as much playfulness and acting to them, because I'm not guessing about where the body parts go anymore. So a lot of the times we overthink so much. You've been helping me not overthink my artwork. Yeah. Exactly what I was saying right now. So, learning how to do that is just a matter of drawing a box and drawing a circle. The box gives you your upper body. The circle gives you your sushi or your little circles for your legs. From here to the rib cage, that is your pectoral muscles. From here to your rib cage is the little circle that, kind of like the sushi, you're going to use to move your arm. And that little circle is also your cylinder for your head. Congratulations, you are now able to draw humans off of a box and a circle. So a box and a circle is all you need to draw a human body, really. Boom, boom, boom. In any pose. Black Widow. And then you can taper this, of course, to create different body styles. You can always make these bigger to get other styles. And as you learn more anatomy, you'll be able to add more and more like biceps and shoulders and pigtails. Bah, bah, bah. The Tutu Assassin coming to you next semester. I can't go from boxes to circles to making it look human. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while to get it. Like, it's not going to be the easiest thing to learn. But once you do, you will be actually amazed at how simple or in how like much you were overthinking everything. Because once you learn the mapping points, right? Once you learn mapping points, it just becomes really, really easy. Like Wes can probably attest, like his posing has gone insanely better. Like in like a matter of like a week or so, it went from being like really stiff to being like actually dynamic, and it seems like he's understanding it. You guys should check out his like warm-ups because like you guys get to see like real life progress. Like that is how much he's actually improving. Tutu Assassin. Okay, so Tutu Assassin. There you go. Okay, so one of the things that I actually really enjoyed seeing that Wes was doing was a little exercise that I normally do with circles. So what he did was really cool. He started off with a circle for his connecting point, right? And then drew a circle, and he drew a hand. So what happens if this circle and this circle start getting closer to each other? Like if they're like that. Well, you start seeing how that movement starts happening. And little by little, if you practice drawing your elements, connecting a little bit closer to each other, you end up with the ability to be able to move your elements in front of you, next to you, around you, and you can move that around kind of like a Da Vinci like thingy. And you can learn to move your arms in every direction you want. So it's just a matter of taking that exercise of foreshortening that I exude to you guys by drawing 3 circles, making one bigger. It's going to make it come to the foreground, overlapping them. It will make it look like it's coming even more. And when that circle overlaps the other one, you don't even see the connecting point. You just see that going this way. So that is how foreshortening works. So that is how your arms go from being completely this way to having more depth as they go into perspective, and how some elements get blocked along the way. And that is how you learn how to do the cool poses that you guys really want to do, like, you know, like punches and stuff like that. The anime stuff where it's like foreshortened with like Chidoris and this guy's a ninja. It's like, you are going down, you villain. I am the savior of the universe. I am Stickman. Stickman, savior of the people. Stickman will beat you up and sleeps. stick man. And then you have like all the anime stuff happening, like shh. Some people running in the background. So yeah, that's how foreshortening works. Oh, got a road, Rod. Hey, no problem, man. Have a good one. Thank you for joining me for a little time. This made my day. Yeah, Stickman is pretty cool. I did kind of figure out a way to make stick figures that you can do volume to, though. You just have to see the stick figure a little different. Like, if you do a stick figure like this, right? Most of the time, this is how they indicate it. Like, this is a normal stick figure, like, by the way. Right? This doesn't really work for a drawing. But if you just change it and you move these to the side, you can use this as a drawing reference by just adding 2 circles going inside from both of those. That's going to give you the ability to add volume to anything that comes out of your body. And then you just connect the edges. That's literally the easiest way that you can learn to draw bodies. A stick figure with a little bit of space in between. Add circles going in. And then use that to guide where your legs are going to go, where your arms are going to go. Connect the edges, and you have yourself a really rough character. Like, let's get it straight. This is going to be a really rough representation of a human. It's not going to be like the ultimate. But if you have an issue and you just want to learn how to draw something a little bit quicker, it's an easy way to adjust and learn how to draw a different pose. Because you're not going to be overthinking every muscle. You're not going to be overthinking every step. All you have to do is figure out how that little circle gives you depth. Well, the more realistic version of it would be just to actually draw the body parts the way they are. You know, like if you draw your rib cage and you draw your hip bones the way that they're supposed to be. Well, of course, that's going to be the most realistic way of doing it. But, you know, if you learn how to do that, you wouldn't need any tips and tricks. Let's just be honest here. If you knew how to see that, you would not need my lessons. So that's why it's hard. You know, it's not the easiest to be able to figure out all this stuff. If you did want to have more realistic proportions, all you have to do is go and look at humans. Just go look at real humans. Go outside, go into the real world, and look at some humans, and you're going to get more realistic proportions. Pay attention to the length of the limbs and stuff like that, and you're going to be able to get a little bit more accurate proportions. See how they measure up against other parts of your body. See what happens if you add little volume lines and enhance them. Look at how easy it is to create clothing. By just adding circles inside of my shape, I can just enhance those and I can create clothing. That's why we learn perspective. Perspective isn't so that we can learn environments and we can learn like all that stuff. It's so that we can actually do this sort of stuff. Like, your human can be anything as long as you understand what's inside of your body, the rib cage and hip bones, right? If you have rib cage and hip bones, you can draw anything you want from like a normal actual human. But if you want like a chibi character, that's going to be also a rib cage and hip bones. It's just going to be a lot smaller. Okay? You're going to have those elements regardless of anything that you draw. If it has a body, it's going to have a rib cage and hip bones most likely. So if you learn to draw that, a rib cage, hip bones. If you learn to draw that, things like animals and stuff like that become really simple to draw as well, because you're not going to be overthinking things. So you have the same elements, same shit. We have a rib cage, we have hip bones, and we have a skull. So if you learn to draw those things in different styles, different ways, you can do shit like dragons, dinosaurs, monsters. Because they all have the same things. So understanding how an elephant works is just a matter of finding how their skull works, finding the size of their rib cage, and finding the size of their hip bones. And once you do that, everything else falls into place a little bit easier. Understanding that all of us are mammals with similar traits will help you understand the simplicity of understanding how one lesson of anatomy can benefit you in every single way. Like how learning just how to do that triangle, right, that I teach you guys. The little triangle technique can help you with birds, can help you with animals, can help you with humans, can help you with everything and anything that has a skull. Anything and everything that has a skull can be drawn with a triangle. And using those same guidelines that we use for a human. So it's just, what do you want to build? Right? It's not about if you can. No. What do you want to create? What do you want to make? Bernie solos every single like character. Honestly, like, let's see. If Bernie is just like rage incarnate. Like he would be like Kampachi from Bleach. Right? Like he's just like, there's just no messing with him. Like, if he doesn't fuck around either, it's like if you get in his way, he's just going to like split you in half in one way or another. He does not mess around. Remember, Bernie is the epitome of my pettiness. That is the whole concept behind him is he is an emotional state of mind. He is a little bunny that kills everything, but like all the people that are like, yeah, maybe he can make a dragon friend. No. He is just pure incarnate pettiness. They burnt his carrots, now they all have to die. Literally, that's the whole premise of the actual story. Like the dragon burned his face, but he doesn't care about the face, really. He just cares that he burnt his carrots. And thanks to that, now he goes off and he kills every single dragon that he can in the most gruesome and horrifying ways. Like maybe he like ripped the jaw off of this one. He is not he is not to be messed with. He's normally a very, very happy-go-lucky rabbit, and he will never hurt anything other than his passionate like hatred towards dragons. But like, yeah, he's just pissed. That would make a great video game. Yeah, I think so too. I think that would be a really cool side scroller. Imagine like Metal Slug, right? Where he just gets like little power ups to kill the different dragons, like elemental power ups or whatever. It could be like a mixture of like Avatar with like different like properties. Maybe he changes color. Maybe like a Mega Man type of thing too, like where he changes colors depending on whatever magic that he like takes on or little outfits and stuff like that. That'd be really cool. Get me some pixel art and I can make that happen. We can make that work. We can totally make that happen. You just need a character sheet for him. I can totally do that. Yeah, imagine like a little side scroller where you're like just running around and you have like big ass weapons. Like you just summon big weapons. So you're like still a little bunny that's like hopping around. Tee, 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 tee. But you have your weapon in the front. And then you just go around slicing dragons and stuff like that with little magical weapons. You're like, that would be really, really dope. That actually would be really cute. Just like a little Mario game type of thing. Little platformer where he just goes around killing dragons. Little power ups and like life. And he like shows like the power that you have at the moment and like a power meter. And whatever weapon you have. And then you just oh my god, it would be like the ninja one. It could be like the ninja, like this, like a fruit ninja one. Oh my god, that'd be kind of cool. Fruit ninja / metal slug. Oh my god, yes, that would be it. That's our game. That's what we gotta do. Do we have any programmers? And we have Wes, but do we have any like game like people that are like good at like putting sprites together and shit? That'd be dope. The minor mobs of baby dragons with big ones. Yeah, that'd be so cool. You have animators as well. What? Oh, that'd be dope, dude. Oh man, you just need a sprite sheet. Oh man, okay, cool. I guess I'm gonna be doing something else this week. I'm gonna be working on a character sheet, and that way we can actually use them for production too. Like that way, like whenever anybody wants to do anything with them, they can just like reference that. Yeah, I'm starting. You're starting your own project. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You do you. Bernie will come to life with or without you. He don't wait around for no one. So we got to come up with like a basic style guide for him. So one eye is gonna be all cute and bubbly, like oh, and then the other eye is all like because it's all burnt. I'm sorry. So sprite sheets, like you're gonna need to let me know what type of sprites you need because I've seen so many different ones. Like I've seen like some for like fighting games. I've seen some for like I don't know, like platformer games, and then like they all require different things. Like because some of them require like the animation sheets, like the actual like like posing for each one of the movements. Some require like the animation effects. So if you're gonna like make something come out and you want it to go around, it would be like the actual specs of how that would encircle things. If you had like a gem or something, how would it like actually come around and circle and guide and stuff like that? You are the best teacher I have ever seen. Thank you. Oh, you're sweet. You are a sweetheart. I do enjoy hearing that though. Not gonna lie, I do enjoy quite heavily hearing the fact that I am a good teacher. I don't get a lot of validation outside of the internet, so it's just really cool to hear that I'm doing something good. And not that I need validation, I really don't, but it's just nice to get it once in a while. So let's see. Maybe he can summon little minions that come out of like voids or something like that. Yeah, maybe he has like little minions that do stuff like that. That'd be cool. Kind of like Care Bears. Oh my god, like the opposite of Care Bears. These guys could be like Death Bears or Plague Bears. And he summons them. He's like, rah, he makes them like part of his arsenal. He just controls them from a void. Rah. I like that. And then they can just be all like voidy. So all black. And just leave their bellies white. Nice. Okay. We have Death Shadow Bears. Cool. Cruel Bears? Oh no, that sounds mean. Like okay, like death is not necessarily a mean thing, right? Like death is just a natural cause of like life. It's literally just the opposite of life. It's not necessarily a bad thing. So cruelty though, like that's just something that I wouldn't want to draw because I don't think there's a cruel part of my body. Like I don't think I have cruelty in me. I have pettiness. I have definite pettiness, but I don't think I have cruelty. I think cruel people are probably the worst types of humans in the planet. Like somebody that genuinely feels like they can just even embody cruelty in any way, shape, or form, even if it's playfulness. I don't know. For some reason, to me, I just can't really trust someone that can be cruel on command, or even with selective people, because that just means that you're just like a skip and a stone away from being in that selective group. So if somebody's actually able to be cruel to someone else, be very careful of them. Cruelty is not like a selective thing. Cruelty is it's literally a mindset, and you need to like actually be able to be okay with being able to do that and being like that. And if you are, you're just not a person worth trusting. You just aren't. Even if you're doing it out of like spite or because somebody did something, mean to you. If you have that in your mind, in your body, you are probably not a trustworthy person. No, I'm not using a pencil. I'm using a pen. Straight pen. All right, so we went into Bernie. What else do you guys want to learn today? Bernie dabbles in every type of magic. Like, if Bernie needs to, he will like summon a Susano type of character. Like he can like summon like armor and shit like that, like just by using his little magic wand. And the ultimate protection is the creator. He summons the creator as an entity. Who dares disturb my Bernie? So all he has to do is summon the creator. And I come in with my pencil or my pen of truth. The ultimate power. Head shapes or how to size them to a body. Okay, we can do that. How do you create an energy? Okay, let's talk about the first one. You guys asked about head shapes. Okay, so I don't like drawing head shapes like this. Okay, this to me never really worked out for me. This is cool if you understand, like the concept of your jaw structure and you understand your chin, all that stuff. This makes sense. But if you don't, I would recommend you start with this. This is going to resemble a cylinder. Why a cylinder? Well, a cylinder is a very ambiguous shape, right? This could be the bottom of it, or this could be the top of it. So you can get a lot of different perspective points because the circles that you draw inside are completely ambiguous. So that is something that's needed when it comes down to the actual structure of the face, because mostly we are not just single, like elemented creatures, right? A lot of the times we need to look up and stuff. And when we are drawing, if we have an easy way to draw a character looking up, it makes it a lot easier to do it when something's already given to you. In this case, when we're drawing the jaw up or down, we can just take any of these circles that are already going around our shape and use that to generate our jaw. The back is already gonna give us our neck, and then we just have to decide what type of taper we want for the front of the body. So understanding how to do that took 2 seconds. But look at the benefits that come along with that. If you just draw different circles in different directions, now you have the ability to draw your head in more interesting positions. Congratulations. That is literally one of the things that unlocked for me. And when you learn that you can just have to make a noodle, like a little curvy one, to generate your jaw in a bunch of different positions, yeah, you might have to adjust the size of the head a little bit, but that's the easy part. When you're looking up, you make those circles fuller so that you have going around as a guide. Looking up, looking down is going to be a lot easier for you. Mostly because all the lines are already there. You just have to learn to use them. That's why drawing with a cylinder is so much stronger. And also because it connects to the body easier. Like if you draw an egg and you draw a circle, that's your rib cage. That circle is going to give you your cylinder. And then here, the top and the bottom expand to your collarbone. So when you have that, you have the ability to draw your necks and your body parts and everything a little bit better. I have no clue to how to understand lighting. Well, we're not going to go into lighting right now because lighting consists of an entire lesson, right? Lighting will consist of teaching you guys shadows, highlights, core shadows, form shadows, cast shadows, then understanding perspective within that structure and using that to learn how to mathematically approach shadows so that you know exactly where things are supposed to land. Like what type of shadows there are. There's like kind of like there's conical lighting, there's ambient lighting, there's like, like spot lighting. There's so many different things that go along with this, and it's a very intensive thing. So I normally can't explain that within a structure of like an hour. I'm going to need like 2 hours or 3 hours to be able to explain that properly. Mostly because it's very intensive. And if you don't understand perspective, then this becomes 10 times harder to explain. So if I'm going to explain this from scratch, like I normally do all my lessons, I need to go from the beginning and be able to explain it step by step so that you guys don't get lost. And that is, mostly the reason why you guys enjoy me as a teacher. But at the same time, it's something that's normally considerably exhausting from the teaching end. Mostly because it's just a lot of information that needs to be relayed properly because I don't want to mess you guys up. Right? Like to me, it's very important that I don't give you guys misinformation. To me, it's very important that I don't give you guys like even tips and tricks that won't help you. Because that to me will set you back much more than it will help you go forward. If you guys trust me and I give you guys knowledge that is not going to benefit you, it's just going to like stump you or like make it difficult for you to grow, then I'm not a good teacher. So I have to, and I normally curate the things that I teach you guys considerably before I decide to make a lesson or any sort of like plan around it. You love my energy and my personality. Thank you. It seems like a lot more people are starting to kind of fall on board with that too. It's kind of been weird. Like, I don't know, like something has changed recently. And it seems like more people are like gravitating towards me. Not like not even in like an internet way. Like even in real life, like people are just naturally more like gravitating towards me, and I don't understand it. I'm not doing anything different. But something of me must have changed recently that it's like, for some reason, people are just feeling like they need to be around me more. And it's kind of weird. But it makes me feel like the pretty girl at the prom. And I like it. I like attention, if you have not noticed. All right, so let's see. Let's recap what we've learned. so far today. So far today, we have learned how to draw the body a couple different ways. I taught you guys the whole idea of drawing a box in a circle and combining them together to create a blobby. The blobby helps you because it's really easy to draw a body from a blobby. Draw a midline, draw a circle, and connect the endpoints. Boom, boom. Now you have a collarbone and you have a headspace for your cylinder. Ta-da! In like 2 seconds. Sorry, Rod, I already have a Valentine's. I'm not looking for a Valentine's. No, 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 no. Like that, I am so not in that space right now. Like, at all. At all. So, yeah, I'm gonna enjoy my Valentine's Day with a big fat steak. And I'm going to go home to my puppy and I'm gonna give him the leftovers. And he's gonna watch Disney movies with me and we're gonna have a fucking awesome evening. And that's it. Like, honestly, if like from this point on, if any person wants to be my partner, they're gonna have to put a shit ton of effort. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just tired of being the only person pouring into the cups. Like, nope, 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 nope. This cup is empty until someone pours into it. Fuck that. You know, I like the adage, stay alone, like sit alone at your table until you find the right people to sit at the table with you, or something like that. Or sit by yourself until you find the right table to sit in, something like that. And I really, really like that. And I think I need to implement that in my life a lot more because I allow so many people into my life, right? I allow everyone into my life. Anyone that ever even remotely gives me attention or something, I'm like, oh my God, yes, please. And I need to stop doing that because I end up with people that just value me for like their imaginary version of me. And then they just, when that illusion is broken, it's like, oh, you're a real person. Oh, you're not happy 24/7. Oh, okay. I don't want that. And then you're like, okay, well, that's life. Too young to care about Valentine's Day, honestly. Everyone, dude, I don't know, man. It's like weird. It's like they fabricate love. It's like they feel like they have to fabricate the whole concept of love to a certain day. That's weird. But that's what leads to December babies. So I have a feeling that since I'm a December baby, I have a feeling my parents got lucky during that day. Lacey and I have never, will never. Well, you guys are like married and you have kids and stuff. You guys don't need Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is for the people that don't have that shit yet. It was cold. What was cold? Cold-hearted? Boom. No, I'm just gonna stay home and draw, most likely. I'll probably stay home, I'll draw with you guys, and have an absolute blast of a day. Because girls are mean. Girls are mean. I'm tired of girls being mean to me. Oh, they say babies are what? Oh, they say it's cold. No, they had to they takes 9 months to make babies. Damn it, they can't like blame it on Christmas because it's cold. Oh, that's an arm. That's not supposed to go like that. All right, what else? What else? What else? But you guys got to get me to like at least like 30K though. I'm pouring out my love life to you guys. You guys at least need to get me to 30K. How would you draw a werewolf? Okay, so a werewolf would be the ribcage of a human or a mammal, which is like an egg. And then we're gonna have our hip bones like a human, but the legs are going to be like that of an animal. So the legs of an animal sometimes don't go the same direction as the legs of a human. And we need to learn the distinction of that, and I'm going to teach you guys in a second how that works. Okay? When you're drawing the legs of a dog or a cat or an animal of that sorts, they tend to have this sort of anatomy to it. Okay? This sort of anatomy is your thigh into your calf muscle. This is your calf muscle going up. Then this is the flat part of your foot into your toes. So essentially what you're doing is you're drawing a person with a thigh, with their calf bone looking up, and then they're literally just on their tippy toes. It's a person on their tippy toes. That's how you gotta see animals. But this part is extended and it creates the notion of having that long leg. So when you're drawing things like werewolves and stuff like that require that sort of motion, that is what you should think of. And that is how you establish that. From here, the bottom in between my legs is going to have my tail, but from behind, not from the front. So it's going to come back out and come back this way. My arms are going to come out from my collarbone, which I'm going to extend a little bit more because a werewolf would probably have really wide shoulders. And then my head is that of a dog, which can still be drawn with a cylinder at first. And when you come up to the actual muzzle, draw a triangle for your bottom part of your face, and then draw a little beanbag. And then you can just connect that. You have yourself a little wolf dude. The hands, it could be animal, could be humans. Werewolves come in different shapes and sizes. So whichever ones you try to do, whatever you decide that you want to go for. To be or not to be? That is the question. A how wolf instead of a werewolf. How does she have that arch? What? Who? Her? Ribcage is a hard surface, right? This is really hard. It doesn't bend. And if it's going this direction and your hip bones, which don't bend or flex, go this direction, the skin in between here is going to compress. So since your hips are pointing this direction and your arms are going to be pointing this direction, you create what is called as contrapposta or counter posture, or bending and stretching or curves and straights, whatever you feel like calling it. That's what happens. And then when you do that alternately with your hips going the other way, you end up breaking the way that the character looks balanced. You need the composition of the legs going in a different direction to be able to balance that out. Oh, in this case, I made the leg go completely straight. Hold on. There you go. So that's the balance. The other leg is just there as decoration, pretty much. It could have been doing absolutely anything. And then that is where you're getting the curvature. Now, the anatomy that I add to this is what allows me to make that look proper. I find my connecting points in my neck, my collarbone, so that I can start building my arms and my posing based on whatever the hell I want. How fast do you fill up a sketchbook? This one's taken about a month and a week. And this is how far I have so far. About that much. And we are missing this much. So we'll probably be done with it by the end of the week. Sweet, 30K. Sweetness. So, blobby, leg, volume inside. Ta-da! Another way to draw your legs. Now, point here at an angle. The top of that angle connected, and that's underwear line. Your belly button goes a little above that. Your arms, they're going to flow from the top of your body to the side. And the volume goes inside. Boom. That connecting point here, decide how big you want your head. From here to here, from here to here. Now you have your arm positioning. You have your legs, you have your arms. Which way do you want to place them? That's up to you. Your head comes out of there. And then later, you have to add anatomy to all this shit. Right? But learning how that actually connects to each other in a relatively simple fashion is what allows you to stylize it in any way you want. Make it a big buff dude. You know? Doesn't matter what you do. So let's go again. Blobby. Any shape. It can be any fucking shape, honestly. Circle. Cool. Cylinder. Headspace. Draw an egg farther down to draw your hip bones. From there, you can make this into 2 sections. Any 2 sections that you draw can be legs. Okay? Any 2 sections you draw can be legs. Just draw the connecting point from the top of that circle. This is the first line, the outside line. And then you make volume go inside from there. The outside line, and then volume inside. Okay? Same thing for the arms. The top is going to be normally the volume, the line that you follow, and then volume is going to go inside. Regardless of the positioning that you draw, the volume goes inside, the volume goes inside. And you have yourself the positioning for your arms. Okay? If you have arm positions and stuff like that that come forward in space, once you find those connecting points, you can just go point, 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 right? Top of the hips, top of the shoulder. Downward, we're going to connect it back to that circle, inside. Down, and then inside, volume. inside, 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 inside. So you end up being able to draw your legs and your arms much quicker by just understanding how that volume works. Next lesson, can you do facial expressions and where they need to be? What do you mean by where they need to be facial expressions? For example, like a lot of people have issues with placing the eyes, right? If you draw a triangle on the middle of your face, that top of the triangle right here, think about it like a box with two very heavy weights on top. And you're trying to balance that out, right? Imagine it's like two heavy steel balls, like a barbell, like the old school barbells. That is the positioning for your eyes in comparison to the rest of your face. So you have your nose canal and your skull, then you have your eye socket, and then you have your cheekbone, and you have your mouth and your teeth and stuff, okay? So normally at the top of this is where your eyebrows and your skull, for example, this from the front, it's gonna be easier to explain. You remember how you have the little dip, right? That little dip that you get from your nose and shit in your eyes, that is where your eye goes. So that normally happens at the top of the little triangle that you draw initially. This is this as this. So if you draw your eye right at the top of that triangle, it's going to look accurate more often than not, regardless of the styling that you choose. So once you know that, the triangle is going to give you your cartilage line, so you can draw anything coming out as long as it connects back to that cartilage line. This little triangle as well gives you your cheeks into your teeth line, which allows you to draw mouths, but just going around your teeth. Boom. Your canon OC character is destined to be yellow. What's wrong with yellow? Yellow is the color of the sun. Yellow is the color of bumblebees. Yellow is the color of fire. Wait, is that orange? No, I guess that would be orange. But bumblebees are yellow and they're cute. Little chubby bees. We're not talking about politics, and if you start talking about politics, I will ban you immediately. I won't even hesitate. I will not even ask you a second chance. If you talk about politics, religion, or anything controversial, I will just remove you from the chat. It won't even be a question. Can you show how to ear placement on a cartoon character? Yeah, that's actually really easy. If you draw a head, draw any head. Let's draw a head. Okay? If we split it into 3 parts, 1, 2, 3, the middle section is going to be where your nose, your eyebrows, your eyes, and your ears go. That is where your feature zone goes. Regardless of whatever styling you choose, that's going to fit the standard relatively quickly. So it normally matches in between your eyebrows and in between your nose. So that's where your feature zone is, and that is where your ears go. So whatever face you have, if you already drew a face and you don't know where your ears go, so you already drew the whole face and you're like, oh, I don't know where my ears go. Take your eyebrow as one measure line. Take the bottom of your nose as the second measuring line. bring it to the side, draw a circle from your eyebrow to the side of your face. From your eyebrow, make sure it's your eyebrow because your eyebrow is literally the endpoint for your temple. That is where it starts going into flat. And then half of that is going to be your ear. So in between those two lines, about a third of the way across your face. It doesn't matter what type of face you draw either. Like once you find your eyebrow, you can find the side of your face by drawing a circle from there to the edge. Right? Split that in half. The ear is normally at an angle as well. It's not completely flat. It's kind of like an angle. Slightly, not too much. And then you end up with the proper proportions for that. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. Let's do a more cartoony version so that you guys understand that concept. I might have my eyes, my eyebrows, my nose, and my mouth. From my eyebrow to the side of my face, that is the side of my head. And then I split this in half. And I split into 3 to figure out where my ear is going to go. From the bottom of my ear to the front of my chin, it's a nice little curvy line that has this longer than this. Because this is your teeth line. This is essentially what you're drawing is your teeth line. Like, you got to remember that. Like, this part, that's just where your teeth lay. Going into your jaw structure. That's all that is. So when people draw this part longer and this part shorter, what they're doing is they're reducing the size of their jaw considerably. Like their teeth line is going to be really tiny, which is still fine. It's another way of drawing, but it's just not necessarily what happens normally. Normally you have a much longer section right here. And that leads to your chin, your teeth, and even the muscles that go up. So that's why you need to leave space there. All right, so we are almost done with our lesson today. As our lesson ends, I'm going to end it from now on. I think once we start the new sketchbook, we're gonna have to come up with another thing. It only took us 2 sketchbooks to master posing. 2 sketchbooks. That means that in about 2 or 3 months, we mastered posing. That was really cool. So what's the next thing that we should tackle in the next sketchbook? What do you guys want to try to actually get done? I normally just apply any sort of lesson that you guys want to do. So all of these are based on all the things that you guys suggest, the things that you guys want, the things that you guys want to learn. So feel free to ask away because that is the only way that you actually are going to get what you want out of this. You know, little platypus in a cup. Let's give him a straw. What time is it for you? I have a feeling it's like 10, like 9 or 10. Integrating cybernetics into people. Okay, so if you want to learn how to do cybernetics and like make like cyborgs and stuff like that, you need to learn human anatomy. Why do you need to learn human anatomy? Because human anatomy is essentially what you're going to be basing everything off of. Now, you're going to be basing that off of human anatomy and also basing it off of basic shapes. So if you want to learn how to do robots and vehicles and cyborgs, you're just going to need to learn how basic shapes flow in space so you can just add random crap to your stuff. Like if you don't know how to draw something on the side of the body, you're not going to be able to draw things like headphones or like antennas or anything that covers the ear. If you don't know how to draw the front of the face going around in the shape like a circle, it's going to be really hard for you to create helmets and create anything of the sort like that, because you're not going to be seeing this curvature. Therefore, you're not going to be able to draw things that go around it really efficiently. Okay, so perspective is going to be a big factor in it. Understanding how basic shapes work and the little tiny things that happen to them, right, is going to be very key. Like the way that different things flip in perspective, little textures that you draw, all that stuff is going to play a role into how you draw your cybernetic people or cybernetic humans or robots or whatever. You're going to have to use human traits and at the same time combine them a little bit with just basic shape knowledge. And the more that you do studies on, like, I don't know, robots and Gundams and vehicles and shit like that, you'll be able to keep on adding things over and over until you get to the desired look that you want. Cyborg rod. Like suspensions and cables and stuff like that are all parts of understanding how armor and basic shapes like fall amongst our bodies. Super troopers. All right, everybody. I think we have gotten to the end of our page. Let's recap real fast. Let's at first we drew the bodies. I taught you guys how to draw the bodies in a couple different ways, and I showed you guys examples because it's very important to be able to see it visually instead of just getting it explained. So we learned how to draw the body. We learned how to connect the legs a little bit better, especially at an angle. And I taught you guys a bunch of examples of why it's more important to understand how it connects to the body than actually knowing all the muscle fibers and all the muscles and shit. Then we started drawing chibi bodies, and I drew Bernie. And I wanted to show you guys how little chibi bodies connect to the actual bodies so that you guys understand how we can actually animate them a little bit better. That's why I can make somebody like this little dude have a lot more dynamic range of movements and have just fun with him, because I can actually see how his body is connected to him. Now, then we made Stickman. Stickman! And then he just came in and did an anime intro. And then we taught about arms and how you can use arms to be able to understand how to move things in perspective, how you can use human anatomy to be able to draw things like animals and dragons, because it's the same shit. They just have it differently. Then I drew a werewolf, some humans posing, taught you guys a little bit about contrapposta, which is counter posture, which is just flipping your sides up and down, different directions. Give you guys examples of flow lines, how you can actually come up with your body parts a little bit easier by just understanding what initial line to draw and then where to add volume to. Then we drew the face and a little bit of facial structures, and we talked about yellow shit. Then we created Bernie's little magical minions, which are going to be called death bears. Death bears are going to be coming from little voids. Like he's just going to open up holes and they're going to come out, kind of like voidlings. I kind of like that. And then we are going to, I'm going to start thinking about this because a little platformer game would be so fucking cool. And then whenever he powers up, maybe like it flips his sides, like, so then this side becomes like the other side and he's just like, power up mode. We taught how to draw faces as cylinders and where the ear goes. And we drew a platypus swimming in boba. So yay, I think it was a successful stream today. Yep. I think so too. And if you guys did so as well, and if you guys learned anything, there is ways that you guys can support this channel. You guys can both like the stuff that I do. You guys can share any knowledge that you guys find usable by anybody else. You guys can tell everybody that you know about this channel so that you can actually grow as a channel myself, or you guys can go subscribe to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is consisting of like 400 something videos that teach you guys a bunch of different things, from lighting to drawing different things to living as an artist in general and not starving to death. Things like that are the things I focus on because this is what I want to leave behind when I die. If I am to die, I don't have kids, I don't have people like that in my life, so I want to make sure that this knowledge doesn't get lost and I actually am able to share it with other people so it benefits them. So that is my purpose. That is what I'm doing. I'm doing that so people don't have to go to art school, don't have to spend all their money. And if you guys want to learn at a different pace, we have my buddy Wes that does warm-ups before me whenever I come on. I come on at around 8:30 Pacific. He comes on around 8. That's 11 Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys want to come join him, he is essentially putting all the things that I teach you guys into a more like beginner-friendly like lesson plan. So if you guys find that this is a little bit overwhelming, you guys might find the concept of going and warming up with him a little bit more accessible, which is perfectly fine. And I encourage it heavily because remember, if you're a fishy, you can't climb a tree. You have to learn how to climb, how to fish, how to swim. You can't learn to climb a tree if you're a fishy. You're going to feel stupid your whole life. So you have to learn what type of learning techniques you are, what you like to do and how you approach them. And then from that point on, see how you can benefit the most from your own understanding of your own learning capabilities. Take care, everybody. You guys are awesome. Love you all. Have a lovely day.